In the swampy meadows of the Australian Alps, just a few kilometers behind the continental divide, the Murray River emerges as a small and seemingly insignificant creek, marking the border between the Australian states of Victoria and New South Wales. It collects the meltwater of these snowy mountains as it meanders down from the highlands. Just before leaving the Great Dividing Range, the humans' need to master these waters shows in the first of many dams which hold back and control the Murray. The enormous Hume Dam is part of a massive network of dams, weirs, gates, tunnels and aqueducts which aim to stabilize Mother Nature's erraticness and reduce the water uncertainty downstream. If left to itself, the annual snowmelt would flood the lowlands in early spring and leave way too little water for agriculture in the following summer and autumn. Since the middle of the 20th century, however, through a civil engineering masterclass, this pattern has been reversed, creating Australia's most productive agricultural region, about 150 kilometers downstream. The roughly 200 by 250 kilometer large area of irrigated land produces almost everything the Australian heart desires. But this productivity comes at a cost. The unfortunate design of many of the weirs funnels the bottom layers of the reservoirs back into the river's tracks, which can be up to 10 degrees Celsius colder than the usual river's temperature, dispelling many of the Murray's native species. Behind this agricultural powerhouse, the two largest tributaries of the Murray join its course, with first the Murrumbidgee and later the Darling combining their forces. Mapping out the tributaries of the latter one raises questions about the Murray's title as the longest river of the continent. And actually measuring the length of this continuous waterway reveals that traveling up the Darling, Colgoa, Balone and finally the Condamine River adds a solid 1,060 kilometers to the journey. While being aware of this discrepancy, the Australian government doesn't seem concerned about changing the river semantics just to re-award this title. Upon crossing over to South Australia, the vast agricultural landscape slowly gets replaced by a pristine nature, which is protected in the form of several national and conservation parks. The two largest of these, the Murray Sunset and Dangalee, are hugging around the banks of the Murray and preserve some of the best birdwatching and bush tracking destinations of the entire country. At many places well over 200 meters wide now, the Murray enters its final section, meandering through vast wetland regions around its banks and eventually emptying into Lake Alexandria, a basin with an average depth of only 2.8 meters, where once again the artificially reduced discharge demands 24/7 intervention in the form of dredging operations to keep the waterway to the ocean from clogging up and starving out the natural habitat. Managing all of these aspects and striking a balance between providing a livelihood for rural Australia and providing the country with food, all while letting the Murray live, will only become more and more complicated as time goes on. If you want to learn more about the most majestic rivers of our planet, check out some of these videos. See you in the next video. Cheers.